everyone, and welcome to this special one-hour edition of The Crow Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Alana Smith, and we're counting down to this afternoon's clash with the Blues at the G. Shortly, we'll hear from former Adelaide player Sam Kerridge, who's revived his career since moving to Carlton. And Eddie Betts tackles some curly questions from his youngest fans. But first, the AFL career of talented youngster Wayne Milera rested in a surgeon's hands towards the end of last season. The classy 18-year-old was operated on for a heart condition, but he recovered to star for Central District in last year's SANFL semi-final. After that, the Crows didn't hesitate to grab him as their first pick in the national draft.
There's a good take by Milera.
So this time last year I would have been just finishing up the national championships with South Australia, the under-18s. Being a part of the national championship, you need to get medical screenings, and that's why I went and had a ECG done, and they just found that I had a bit of an irregular heartbeat. So I was diagnosed with Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, which is pretty much just you got an extra electrical pathway in your heart. So I had to get minor surgery for that. At the time it was a bit of a shock. I was, a bit worried how AFL clubs would see that, whether it would do any harm to my chances of getting drafted or anything. So it was a bit of a shock, and a bit of a shock to my family as well. One of the consequences is like your heartbeat can get too fast while you're playing. So I think it happened to Nathan Eagleton out here at AIM Stadium. He collapsed, like he fainted on the ground, and I think he had to get stretchered off, and that's because his heartbeat was going too fast. Specialist just said, look, if you want to continue with your footy, it's probably best that you get this surgery done, and then you'll be all right from there.
Well, Milera back in the side last week after minor surgery on his heart. He looks in good shape. He puts that through.
I wanted to come back just the week off, so I had it on Monday, and the doctors just going, they ruled me out for the game against Norwood, and lucky enough the boys got through, and I was able to play the week after against Port Adelaide. So yeah, it was pretty good, considering you just had a little heart surgery that you can play the next week.
The Adelaide Crows select Wayne Milera, Central District's Ingle Farm Football Club.
I was pick 11, so I was pretty pumped to stay home and stay with family and going to a club that you grew up going for since you was a kid was pretty unreal.
Milera, splendid half volley. That's amazing. That is awesome.
Wayne certainly has the right football pedigree. He's a nephew of Swans legend Michael O'Loughlin. Well, who can forget the probing questions that some of the club's youngest supporters put to Rory Sloane a few weeks ago? Today, it's the turn of another hero, Eddie Betts, to come up with the answers.
Hi Eddie, my name's Harry. How do you kick the awesome goals?
Hi Harry, I practice a lot. Me, Charlie Cameron, Alice Yeoman, all us boys at training, we like to put lunch on it, and I like to practice a lot, go to the boundary and do some snaps, and I'm not the one getting lunch for us. The boys are always getting lunch for me because I'm always the one winning and kicking them.
What's your favourite kind of music?
It's a great question. I like all types of music, but to be honest, before we run out and play, I listen to country music. It's something different, but I love my Alan Jackson, John Fogerty, the Creedence, all country music. It kind of settles me down.
How did you get the Guernsey number 18?
There's a story behind it because Graham Johncock is my cousin. We were both born in Port Lincoln, and he knew that I was going to come to the Adelaide Crows, and he said, if I ever do come to the Crows, we'll keep it in the family and you can take my number. So I asked the Crows that, and they said, surely you can have Graham's number, and I was pretty wrapped with that. A great question though.
Hi Eddie, my name's Tom. I was wondering if you have anything that you do before a game as a warm-up.
Hi Tom. I don't think I really do anything before a game or before the warm-up, but if you watch a Crows game at home or anywhere, when we're about to run out on the race, I'm always the first one to run out, and then I stop and turn around and give everyone a fist pump before they run out.
When was your best game in the AFL?
I'll have to say one of the best games I've played in would be against Bulldogs when we played in the final last year. It was a great game to be in and be part of, and it was a great win. It was a very tight game, but I'm glad we got the win.
What's your favourite team except for the Adelaide Crows?
My favourite team would be Carlton, only because I'm a life member and I still got a lot of friends at Carlton. I played 9 years there and I like, the Blue Baggers, but Crows I would think are a little bit better.
What was the highlight of your career so far?
The highlight so far for me being at the Crows would be, I'd have to say kicking goal of the year. That was against Fremantle, left foot taught in the wet and it skid through, so hopefully I can do it again this year and vote for me.
Eddie fooled them all, escaped, Eddie bets, Eddie
Still to come on The Crow Show. We'll turn the clock back to an epic Carlton encounter when Brendan Favola won the game off his own boot and belted, punched, kicked and smacked. That's the everyday life of a Sheriff. Welcome back. Crows players will come up against an old teammate when they take on Carlton. Sam Kerridge has played every game for the Blues this season after being part of a trade deal last year that saw Troy Menzel come to Adelaide. Kerridge struggled to cement a place in the Crows senior side and played just 27 games over 4 years. So, how does he feel about running out against his old team?
Here's Kerridge for number 4. Kerridge has kicked 4 for Adelaide tonight.
To be honest, I kind of haven't really thought about it too much. I'm trying to leave that to later in the week. But look, we've got a big week on the track, so I'll get through that first, and then I'll worry about that later down the week. I still text a few of the boys and keep in contact with them a fair bit, so I'm sure there'll be a few messages thrown back and forth throughout the week, but we'll see how we go.
Can draw it over the top. Adelaide Crow to Adelaide Crow. Former Adelaide Crows, of course. Kerridge with the goal.
I've really enjoyed my time here so far. There's a great buzz about Melbourne, one of the most livable cities, as everyone keeps telling me, so it's been fantastic. The boys have been great, living close to the club, which helps a lot too, with Melbourne traffic and whatnot being as horrendous as it is, so it's been fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better settling. The boys have been unbelievable to me, and it's kind of been a bit easy with a lot of new faces as well, so obviously a new playing group with a lot of new players, plus coaches as well, has made the transition fantastic, so it's really going well.
On behalf of the Carlton Football Club board, I'd like to congratulate Brendan Bolton on being appointed our new senior coach to lead our football team.
Everyone keeps saying how approachable he is and how enthusiastic he is. For a young group like ours, it's outstanding. He's been exceptional, being able to adapt to coming into a new environment, and like I said, a whole new playing group, new coaches, to just get everyone on the same page and striving for the same goal has been outstanding.
And kicking from 40 metres, 45-degree angle. What a start this would be for the Navy Blues, and he's got it.
I think everyone wants to, play consistent footy, and I guess being able to play it at the AFL level, the more you get to do that, hopefully the better you're going to become as a footballer. And look, it has been good. Obviously, the last couple of years I've kind of been up and down and in and out, and a few injuries and whatnot, which is what happens with a footballer. But to have a good run, in the AFL side this year has been fantastic.
So Kerridge, well played. A sign of how far they've come.
Not many players can legitimately be called match winners, but the label definitely belonged to Carlton spearhead Brendan Favola. He enjoyed cult status at the Blues, and all his prodigious talent was on show back in round 11, 2004. The Crows led by 25 points at three-quarter time, but Fev turned the game around and finished with 7 goals. Another Carlton star, now Crows assistant, Scott Camporelli, remembers the day well.
Oh, Burton! Oh, Brett Burton, a beauty!
The Melbourne media were copping a fair bit at that stage through not playing well. I think the margin at quarter time was sort of the margin until three-quarter time, and I think 25 points down or something like that at three-quarter time, and then Fev kicked 4 in the last quarter to get it done.
But Carlton came again. This time Favola led the charge. He kicked 4 for the quarter, including the match winner. after the umpires changed their mind and awarded him this mark.
This is controversial. Let's Pavola stands his ground, starts to bend it back.
Fev was a real talent, you know, in front of goals. So I saw him kick a few bags of goals, but to kick 7, kick that one from the boundary, which haven't seen too many people over the history, even as a young fella growing up, kick too many goals from that pocket. Yeah, to put it through was nice. If you're captain or in your leadership group, you want to try and make sure, and I'm competitive as everyone, and I guess being on the home ground, being back in Adelaide in front of your families and friends, you want to play well as well. So yeah, always like kicking a goal, so 2 was really nice.
No one inside 50 other than Favola. You can see him tracking back towards the goal square. So Camporelli goes for goal and puts it through.
To come away and obviously get a win when you're not supposed to and interstate was a good result for us.
Well, there's no more obvious symbol of Australian football than the Sherrin. Invented nearly 140 years ago by Thomas Sherrin in Melbourne, the ball has been refined to withstand enormous punishment. But they need looking after. So let's look at what happens with all those Sherrins at the Crows.
Yeah, we've got a heap of footies at the club, and that's part of my job actually, to go through and just sort of flick out the old ones when they're getting out of shape or turning into balloons. Obviously the boys are doing a heap of goal kicking practice, and some will go over the fence and get scuffed up, or boys will use them upstairs, and on the AstroTurf can be a bit harsh on them. So we actually probably go through about 350 per season. That's a mixture of red and yellow. Depending on the time slot that we play, obviously reflects whether we're practicing with the red or yellow footies, and we'll have 45 probably per training session, so that equates to about one per player who's out there training. Sherrin advised us that all football should be around the 69 kPa in terms of pressure. However, our players are always asking for a bit more pressure to be used and pump them up. I tend to feel that around 74, 75 kPa is the ideal amount for a footy. So each home club will provide 6 brand new footies to the AFL. We hand them in when I do the team sheets on a match day. 2 will be taken down to each end as backups. Obviously there's one out for the umpire to start the game, and there'll be one with the umpire on the boundary line fence. The main reasons we deflate the balls is after a really wet training session, because obviously they can get really heavy and be like rocks to kick, so deflating helps in sort of drying the ball out. And we also have to deflate them when we do any away travel, because we don't want the balls popping on the aeroplane. They normally find a home somewhere. We hand them out to local community groups or local footy clubs. Some will be used by the boys as autographs or auction items. So yeah, we get rid of them that way.
A little bit of trivia for you. It takes 22 minutes to make a Sherrin by hand, and the Melbourne factory produces about 500 of them a day. Moving on, and Daniel Talia is the next player to take us to his favourite holiday destination. The key defender was only too happy to share some of his happy snaps thanks to our friends at Flight Centre.
Yeah, my favourite holiday destination is definitely the United States of America, and probably New York. That city is amazing, cultured, sports. So me, Brody Smith and Rory Laird, we went to New York for 10 nights, and then we were in LA as well, stayed in West Hollywood and then drove down to Santa Monica, Venice Beach, and then went down the coastline to Malibu. Megan and I, my fiancée, are already planning our next trip. This is a honeymoon actually, so thinking South Africa and then to Dubai and the Maldives on the way home, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
After the break, Rory Laird gets up close with Mitch McGovern. And feeling the stress, we take you inside the coach's box. Mitch McGovern has become an important weapon in the Crows' forward line. Having shrugged off a string of injuries, the tall leaping West Australian causes headaches for many backmen. But is he a match for Rory Laird? Thanks to Aussie Ripper Roast, let's find out.
Righto Crows fans, I'm substituting in for Brody Smith today on the Aussie Ripper Roast, and I've come across one of our young guns, Mitch McGovern. How you going, mate?
Eddie, very well. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Going well. Happy to be on here.
Yeah, very happy. Glad you're doing it, not Smithers. So.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit more lenient than Smith, but starting off with footy, debuted this year. How's your body going? How are you finding it?
Yeah, debuted. Body's feeling okay. Has its weeks. It's a bit tougher footy than the SANFL, but yeah, loving every minute of it. It's really good for the boys to be having a few wins.
You spoken to your brother about anything? You know, did he speak to you before your first game or during the year? I'm sure he's a very good source of knowledge from what he's been doing up in West Coast.
Yeah, he speaks to me a little bit before the games, especially my first game, gave me a bit of insight and things what to expect, so he's been pretty good in that way.
Now for the off-field stuff, a bit of the fun stuff. I know that you are single at the moment.
Yeah,
correct?
That's correct.
Yep. Is it correct or is it false that you were busted on a date on game day recently at some point?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's correct. Okay, that's all I need to know. I don't want to know anything else. Now, golf. I've heard from a few sources that you're out there pretty frequently at the moment. How's that going?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a yo-yo on the course. Having good days, but my bad days are probably the worst you would ever see.
Who's the bloke you've been playing with the most?
Probably Keenan Ramsey.
Yeah.
He's got all the gear, but no idea.
Yeah, okay.
Keenan,
You got him covered, or?
I think I do. Yeah.
And how's it going living with Deary and Rob? Two of the knuckleheads of the group. You surviving well, or?
Yeah, surviving well. The boys are doing all right. It's a bit of a fun house, bit of banter going on.
Yeah.
Deary's always got his bow and arrow out, shooting around
I
something.
have seen that before, yeah. Righto, Gov. Thanks for coming on the Ripper Roast, mate. Appreciate that.
No worries. Cheers, lady.
Cheers, mate.
Later in the show, Rory gets the chance to roast his captain. Well, the coach's box on game day is a stressful environment. Tempers can rise along with blood pressure as all of the coaches strive to ensure their players follow instructions. But with so many voices, how do they avoid confusion? And how do they get the best out of each other? That's what we'll find out in Under the Coach's Roof, brought to you by Revolution Roofing.
Suddenly it's the Adelaide coach's box that is feeling the pressure.
I think being calm in the box is something which allows you to make really clear decisions, and of course the players don't want to look up and see a raving sort of madman in the box screaming, yelling, banging phones, because they want to think that we've got our handle on the best way to address any issues we're seeing in the game. Well, communication in the box is one thing. It's vital that communication between the box and the bench as well is functional. There's a lot going on game day. Players coming on and off with injuries, rotations, as well as positional changes we want to make. So we have to be really clear from the box, firstly what we want, and then communicate that down to the bench so that happens.
This could be the sealer, and it is!
In the box, each of the line coaches is really looking after their area. Any significant change they want to make around their line sort of gets vetoed through me, but anything that's minor, which is just sort of flow of game stuff, I let the line coaches deal with that. Each line coach has clearly got a different set of skills, slightly different personality types in terms of how they're assessing the game, and they're looking at the game through really encouraging them to look at their line and their area to know what's happening in that sort of thing. So when we talk about the total game and changes we want to make, it's important they have a really strong handle on their zone. I found the coaches box really good. The environment there has been really positive, solution-based, and we're trying to get the right balance between reading the cues of the game and helping the players.
After the break, who can resist a quick 50?
Oh, we've just taken a quick break from footy and we're doing a bit of fishing, see if we can catch a few of the boys.
Welcome back. If the Crows were looking for an insider's view of Carlton, they could have turned to Troy Menzel. He spent 3 years with the Blues after being drafted in 2012. But the former Golden Grove junior moved back home when he was traded to Adelaide at the end of last year. He started to string together some consistent performances in the SANFL, reminding selectors of his AFL form.
inside 50 yet again. Beautiful tap down from Waite. Little left foot of Menzel. They're within a point.
It's getting uglier for Norwood now. Adelaide has doubled their score. Oh, grab! Excellent hands from Troy Menzel.
Happened quite quickly really over a couple of days, but once the trade went through, it was, I guess, a bit of relief and yeah, definitely a lot of excitement to come back home to Adelaide and play for the Crows.
Coming up for disposal number 20 from the 50, the left footer goes to work and it's coming back. He has kicked it.
It's been really easy to transition over and settle in. All the boys here are awesome, very welcoming and easy to get along with. So they've made me feel right at home, and also having that family and friends here to support, it's made it quite easily to settle in. Just try and play some consistent footy at the moment. Just get on the park each week and go from there. But yeah, it's progressing nicely. It's the first pre-season I've actually fully completed in 4 years, so that gave me a good base to work off. The body copped a fair whack, but no, I felt actually really good going through it, and coming out the other side, the body actually felt really good. Just being able to, I guess, run out games a lot better. I guess be involved more within the game as well. It's definitely helped me out in those areas. I've pushed up the ground a bit more, played a lot more midfield and wing as well, and that's been something I really enjoy. I love playing in the midfield, so to be able to, I guess, add that strength to my bow and play those variety of positions is very, I'm really enjoying it. It's cracking that forward line, it's pretty tough, so just that forward pressure, those repeat efforts in the forward line, just really trying to apply pressure on the ball and keep it in our forward line as much as possible, and then really just play my role and play the best footy I can and go from there.
She's all done and dusted, Jimmy Bartell, I'm afraid. This is one of the most courageous wins in the history of the Carlton Football Club.
They've actually probably exceeded my expectations. They're going to go well under Brendan Bolton, and all the boys have really taken to them really well. So they've definitely probably achieved higher than what a lot of people would have thought, but I'm very happy for them that they're playing some good footy.
As you've seen this year, Rory Smith enjoys having a bit of fun with his teammates on camera. Now he's enlisted the help of good friend Rory Laird to play a prank on them. It's an oldie but a goodie. Attach fishing line to a $50 note and see what happens.
Oh, we've just taken a quick bait from footy and we're doing a bit of fishing, see if we can catch a few of the boys. This is like when I actually go fishing. Nothing. That looks like you a bit, lady. Can you give us an inside report, Doug? He just got dressed and he said he's leaving, so...
Yeah. Oh no, man.
Pick it up!
That was close.
Oh.
Far out, man.
You tight. What are you picking that up for? Yes! They were fighting over it. They were fighting over it.
I'm sure they'll get their own back on Smithers somehow, somewhere. Earlier in the year, Don Pyke let us listen in on one of his coaching sessions. This time, we mic'd up assistant David Teague to see if he's as calm and controlled at training as he is when he fronts the media. Revolution Roofing gives us this unique perspective under the coach's roof.
Quick, come in quickly and listen up. 2 on each cone on the outside, everyone else in this triangle in the middle. All right, DT, you kick it and stay there. Communication is very important at training. It's important game day, but at training as a coach, you get the chance to give instant feedback. So they're getting the feedback straight away. They're not waiting to look at it by vision. They've got the moment in their mind, so it's a good opportunity for players to learn straight away. If they don't get off the mark, get at them. Play on, you're off. Yes, Hendy, outstanding, good test. Hendy, you passed with flying colours, A+. Let's get into good habits here. Yeah, look, training's the first chance for players to go out and practice what they've learned from the previous game. So you review the game, you talk about things you can work on, but it's just vision. At training is their first chance to go out and actually execute it. Reset quickly! Jog back! Give each other feedback here. Give each other feedback. If someone does something well, let them know. Trust your teammate to get the job done. Oh, that is elite. Some of the kicking going forward's been elite. Elite kick, great lead, Crouchy. Oh, Dougie, elite, Dougie. Out on the field's probably the chance for each player to hone in skills at a lower intensity, lower pressure, where they're willing to make mistakes. We want our players to make mistakes so that they can get better, and training's a perfect place for that. Keep going, finish it, Harry, finish it, don't stop. Sure, he's coming at you. Oh, leave it. Elite coaching group believe that an enjoyable, fun environment, they're going to learn the most. So that's what we're aiming to do. We want our players to have fun. We want them to learn. We want them to challenge themselves. And so far, our guys have been really good in that area. That's one way of statting up, Eddie. Just handball to yourself. That'll do. Excellent. Great energy. Let's start well today. Start well. Let's keep our speed up today.
Stay with us. Shortly, Tony Modra relives a magical milestone. And it's the skipper's turn to be roasted.
Said there's pranks being done, but I'm not too sure what you're talking about.
The Smithy with the deep heat in his underwear.
Welcome back to this special 1-hour edition of The Crow Show. We thought we'd bring back Rory Laird to give him the chance to grill the captain himself, Taylor Walker, all thanks to Aussie Ripper Roast.
Righto, this time I've decided to go straight to the top, so Taylor, welcome.
Rory, thanks for having me, mate.
Good, happy that you're here, mate. One of my favourites, so...
I am?
Yeah, you are.
Thanks, mate.
I'm just going to ask you a few hard-hitting questions, just a bit about footy and a bit away from footy. So, first one is about the forward line. You boys seem to be having a pretty good chemistry up there. You're happy with how it's going? You seem to be scoring the ball well.
Well, if you get it in there enough, we'll kick a score for the team. The boys are playing well. Eddie's having a career best season. JJ's playing a really good role. Tommy Lynch is playing, it was probably his most games he's played consecutively without getting injured, which is great for us. Charlie Cameron's continually growing into a consistent forward. Mitch McGovern, which you've already spoken to today, he's playing a really good role as his first season. He's had a great pre-season and we're gelling just nicely and playing some really good footy.
So life away from footy, mate, the stuff all the fans want to hear about. So how's life with your beautiful girlfriend Ellie?
She's going well. I was living with Ellie and Dean Gore, one of the young boys. Living out east side, which I've currently just taken over the mayor of East.
Really?
You're out there and you share land, so you don't actually qualify for the mayor of East.
Well, we can have some discussion about that. I was actually there first, so it sort of doesn't work like that.
Totally agree that you were there first, but when you share land, you don't qualify for it.
Anyway,
so myself and Taylor.
on to the next question.
Thanks, Rory.
And there's been a few pranks done around the club recently. I've had sources tell me that you've been involved.
Are they really good sources? Have you got 100% trust in those sources?
I do. Can you confirm or deny, or would you like to say that you had no?
Well, I don't really know what you're talking about. You said there's pranks being done, but I'm not too sure what you're talking about.
The Smithy with the deep heat in his underwear.
Oh, the deep heat.
Yeah,
no,
I had nothing.
I'm allergic to deep heat, so there's no way in the world I'd be touching it.
Righto, that's fair enough. Thanks for clarifying. Thanks for joining us on the Ripper Roast, Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
From the late 60s through to the 90s, kicking 100 goals in a season wasn't unusual for gun forwards. Only one Crow, though, has ever done it, the mercurial Tony Modra in 1993, just his second year in the AFL. He takes us back to the day he achieved the feat against Fitzroy at Princes Park.
They trail by 10, but Modra has marked 35 metres from goal.
I think I need about 3 goals to kick the 100th, so it was in the back of my mind, but I mean, more importantly, it was just about winning the game.
Tony Modra, goal number 100 for the season. He kicks. I think he's got it. Well done, Anthony Modra.
Pretty much in front, so yeah, kicked the goal, and then all I remember was it was a fantastic feeling, the players coming around embracing me before the crowd ran out, so that was a very special moment.
Here they come. Modra getting mobbed.
I get a lot of people saying, oh, you would have wished to do it at Footy Park, so I said, oh, either way, it was just a matter of achieving the 100th goal, so which I did, which I guess when you look back at it now, I only achieved it once, so it was a very, very special time for me. I remember, you know, at the other end there was a lot of talent too. You had guys like opposition players like Dunstall, Lockett and Ablett and things like that, so I always had in the back of my mind how many goals they had on the day too, so I guess they sort of raised the bar on the day. For me, I think it was just a privilege to play against guys like that, so yeah, it definitely helped me out with my goal kicking career, that's for sure. It can definitely happen again. I mean, you get a lot of players these days who've got a lot of attributes to their game, so yeah, no, it can definitely happen again, and I'm looking forward to the day it does, because I know my kids would love to run out in the ground as well and celebrate when they do kick their 100th. Hopefully it happens here soon at Adelaide Oval. We've got some big guns down there at the moment, and I'm looking forward to going out there and watching them every kick a heap of goals, and I'm sure one of them could be capable, if not all of them.
Going for 10. And he kicks it.
There was one game there I kicked 10, especially when we were playing North Melbourne. That was a pretty special time, because I think that year, that game I took Mark of the Year as well.
Here's the Mark of the Year.
Later on, one of my family members, my sister, was sitting behind the goals at the time, and then when you see the picture that the advertiser put in, you can still see her in the back of the goals there standing up. And so yeah, that was a pretty special moment for me. And I think I had one coach at one time tell me that I don't always have to take a mark from behind, I could always spoil, and I sort of sat there and thought, well, I don't think you'd want to tell the crowd that, would you?
Mods was runner-up to Coleman medalist Gary Ablett Senior that year and went on to kick 129 goals. Well, defender Andy Otten has shown remarkable resilience to fight his way back from 2 knee reconstructions and be ready for an AFL recall. Every player will tell you rehab can be a lonely experience, so no doubt his 4-legged companions helped him through.
Got 2 Hungarian Vislas. Got Nala 5 years ago. When I first bought my first house over here, me and my partner always wanted a dog, so we got Nala, the female, and then a year ago we thought we'd get her a friend, so we got a little boy, not too little anymore. That's Otis in the blue colour, so he's running amok now. They are hunting dogs, so they hunt, point and retrieve, so they've got lots of energy, but at home they love to cuddle on the couch. They're definitely inside dogs. Very excited to see me when I get home from training, and you know, I can't wait to take him down to the park. It's a bit of my away time, bit of zen time, you know, leave the phone in the car and just really relax when I'm out with the dogs and go for a couple of laps or go down to the beach with them.
That's a strong mark there coming from Andy Otten.
Probably one of the oldest out there at the moment, and I've really enjoyed working with some of the young guys. Alex Keith, his first year, Tommy Duday, first year draftee, and Keena Ramsey's come down back the last few weeks as well. So, you know, I feel really confident helping them out on the field and kind of being that semi-coach, and been lucky enough to be able to captain the side the last few weeks as well, which has been a really great learning experience as well.
Best place, takes a grab, the skipper, stand-in skipper of the Crows at the moment.
It's a long rehab process, but got a bit of confidence, just being able to get back after the first time. So there's still that drive there to you know, get to what my goal was, to come back and play AFL, so that's really still driving inside of me. You know, body's feeling really good, feel like I'm ready to go to the next level, just got to wait for my chance and opportunity, so you know, it's just about being patient at the moment, keep playing my role in the side and the SANFL, and then keep my form up, so when an opportunity does come, I'm ready to go.
You can learn a lot about the players in a quick-fire question and answer session. We know how they play the game of football, but what are they like in the game of love? How might they try and impress on a first date?
I haven't got too many tricks up my sleeve, but probably just take them out to a nice place and, I don't know, go and watch a movie. Pretty simple.
Go on YouTube and search myself.
My first date with Belinda, I actually forgot my wallet. The only way I recognised that I forgot my wallet was I filled up with petrol, so she had to pay for my petrol. I wish I didn't tell you that story.
That's so long ago, I can't really remember what I did. I obviously did something well, to a degree, but I don't know, you'd have to ask her, I can't even remember.
Nice restaurant, nice bottle of wine, maybe a walk along the beach or something like that.
Lucky they're good at football. Well, still to come, we search for a lucky face in the crowd, and VB gives us the good oil on his perfect steak. As we saw last week, Nathan Van Berlo fancies himself as a foodie. He's back in the Crow's kitchen again, and this time he gives us his tips on how to cook the perfect steak. All thanks to Thomas Farms.
Everyone thinks they've got the best method to cooking the perfect steak, but I've got the inside word today. The first thing you need to do is get the pan nice and hot, and secondly, have a beautiful piece of steak. And today we've got an Angus pure Scotch fillet steak here, ready to fry up. Now this is a bit of secret advice I'm going to give you today. Everyone thinks you've got to oil the pan before you put the steak on, but that's not the case. I've got it from Special Authority and it wasn't Tex Walker because he can't cook. You've got to put the oil and the salt and pepper or whatever seasoning you do onto the steak before it goes to the pan. So here we go. Now everyone's got their own method of cooking steak. Now I like to flip my steak multiple times as we cook it. That way it keeps the juices contained inside the steak. Today we've got a nice big thick chunk of steak here, so we're going to go for about 8 minutes cooking time. Chuck it on the pan, give it about 2 minutes, we'll flip it again and maybe one more turn after that, after every minute or so, until the steak looks like she's cooked through. Alright, I think it's done, just the way I like it, so we're going to take it out of the pan, let it rest for a few minutes, generally let it rest for about half the cooking time, so we're good to go. And there we go. Beautiful, medium rare, just as I like it. So let's tuck in and enjoy this beautiful steak.
As a well-travelled basketballer, Hugh Greenwood certainly visited a lot of places. But where does he like to holiday? Thanks to our friends at Flight Centre, Hugh takes us to his favourite destination.
My favourite holiday destination probably be my hometown in Tassie, Hobart, so probably about 30 minutes from the city, just a little coastal beach area, so I've been very fortunate to be able to travel the world playing sports. I've probably never been on a proper holiday, so whenever I had time, moving away from home when I was 15, whenever I had time to go on a holiday, I always chose to go home and visit family, so a little beach spot in Tassie is definitely my favourite spot. There's a few different places. I lived in the States for 4 years, but a lot of it, like I said, I've travelled a lot playing basketball, and that's been the objective and the goal, so I actually haven't quite been able to enjoy myself as much. So do that, obviously playing footy now, do a footy trip at the end of the year, probably to Bali, but I've always liked sticking close to the beach, so somewhere warm, maybe do some snorkeling somewhere nice.
Now's the time when we zero in on a Crow's face in the crowd. So who will be the fortunate fan this week? Let's see. This time it's you. If you recognise yourself, email the club by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and you'll receive a merchandise pack, courtesy of Chemist Warehouse. The Crows recently set a new club record of 64,000 members. We might be in round 16, but it's not too late to join. With 3 home games left at Adelaide Oval, a bronze membership is a perfect way to sign up. Coming up next week, we go right back to 1993 when the Crows secured their first finals appearance with a last round win over Collingwood.
Collingwood have been embarrassed. They won't like that.
That about wraps up our show for this week, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Don't forget to visit the club website afc.com.au for all the latest news and player profiles. I hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to your company again next Sunday at 11:30 on 7. Bye for now.